Here, for commentary. This is going to be the first set in the Hana Daetoo MSO 2016 semifinals. Got that out of me quickly. It's going to be between FlaSh and Free, aka Pretty, because he's pretty. It's going to be a match point. Bottom left corner we have blue turn player FlaSh. Upper right hand corner we have Free in, what was that, pink, purple, magenta, I believe. I was once told that that's the correct name for that color. Two-player map, of course, and I'm not alone today. Decided that since PvT breeds some intense strategic plays and strategic thinking, I'd bring with myself the guy I need alongside for that. So Daetoo, he's once again alongside me today. I'm going to do some syncage on the thing and then let the guy give his opinion on what he thinks we can expect in this one. 44, 45, 46. So, Daetoo, give your view.
You know, I was looking at this series. I thought this had so much potential to be a great series. After we watched Free versus Haya, Free coming back 2-0 down versus Haya, his PvT looked really, really solid in that series. So I think Free's got a shot here. FlaSh, obviously, he's the Robo-Terran. He's a complete dominator at every matchup, and no one's really been able to solve his puzzle. But I think Free definitely has an opportunity to do so. He is very, very good in this matchup, as we saw in the last series. And the map pool, we were talking earlier before we were casting ranch, and I gotta say that the map pool really favors Free if he's gonna come away with an upset. I mean, he's got 2 games on match point at the beginning and the end. He's got the game on triathlon. And those 3 are going to be 3 sets that are Protoss favorites. So he's got a shot there, and then Fighting Spirit is, you know, it's kind of a toss-up. So if he can get 3 wins in there, definitely a possibility here. I think he was definitely kind of lucked out that match point is one of the first maps. And I am completely flabbergasted as to why he would 12 next on a 2-player map. I don't like this. It's a 2-player map. You shouldn't 12 next on a 2-player map. This is going to be really tough for him to defend, especially with FlaSh going for that pseudo forward racks a little bit. FlaSh is going to be able to get Marines there pretty darn quick. I don't like this by Free. What do you think about this? I don't think this is a very good choice on a 2-player map.
I find it strange that overall Protoss players these days, especially against FlaSh, tend to go for this 12 next, simply because they feel they needed to compete economically. I understand it from that standpoint, but I feel kind of weirded out that Protoss players tend to go for it a lot these days, to go for this build a lot. And I don't know whether that's probably a lack of confidence because they know how solid FlaSh is. They feel they need to get an economic advantage. They need to, at all times, try to stay a Nexus ahead of him. And I understand that because they're going to need that army superiority to be able to force FlaSh back. And even though match point, this is an overall Protoss favorite map, I think when a Terran pushes out, there's just a certain amount of position that can be used. The natural expansion can be sieged up, sieged on, and can get totally wiped out fairly easily by Terran players. And I've seen several times Terran players, despite a Protoss opponent being a couple bases on top of him, having a nice army as well. A Terran player just goes for that push, maybe that 2-1 push at the correct time, being maybe 2 bases to 5. Just I'm saying that quite a few SCVs, 4 SCVs coming off the line. Probe spotting that. We're going to be seeing a shield battery come up as the Zealot is in there to defend. 1 Marine, 1 SCV in there. But as I said, yeah, I think Terran player, this is a map, despite being Protoss favorite, it gives opportunities for Terran players to go in for an all-kill push that sometimes they manage to raise 2 bases as they do so, and the entire army. So we're going to see what FlaSh manages to do. He has the factory up, no machine shop over there, so we might produce the vultures just to allow this harass to happen. 5 SCVs coming in here, going to get a surround on the Zealot. Zealot's going to go down, going to be forced to retreat. Safety of this shield battery does manage to get his shields up. 2 Zealots in there. 1 bunker is going to be able to come down. This is going to force those Zealots to get in there. Probes are going to have to come off the line, try to prevent the bunker from coming down. That first initial Zealot building the bunker is going to get taken down, but 3 Marines against 2 Zealots and 4 SCVs, and still the bunker might get built. It's almost ready there. It is going to get built. Probes coming off the line to try to force in there. Vulture coming up as well. Free looking like he's in a lot of trouble. FlaSh doing an absolute beautiful job of pressuring here. All the probes go down. Now Vulture, 3 SCVs, and 3 Marines inside the bunker. Shield battery is going to go down. Next is going to go down. 1 Dragoon coming here to fight back. He might force back the Vulture, but he's not going to be able to do much else. So right off the bat, Free looking like he's in a significant amount of trouble.
Yeah, Free is pretty much dead in the water at this point. He could probably get the game he can probably stay in the game for another 5 minutes or so by letting this Nexus go down at his natural expansion and just going off of it. But off of one base, but he is so far behind that he is essentially done in this game. I don't know what he was really doing there. He has that shield battery. He should be defending near the shield battery as much as possible. Pick off the SCV every time it hops over to closer to the shield battery side, and that's when he should be trying to pick it off so he can try and stay close enough to the shield battery to protect his Zealots, but he didn't really do that, and kind of carelessly losing a lot of HP on that Dragoon. The Nexus does go down here as well, and FlaSh's micro in that fight was just darn impressive. Like, normally what Terran players do with their SCVs, they just, get them in front of their Marines and just try and block as long as possible. FlaSh was actually using some, like, return cargo, mine mineral tricks in there, to actually get his SCVs to actually get into the Zealot and glitch it out. And FlaSh just killed that Dragoon with his tank. So yeah, I mean, Free's got nothing at this point. Free's only got one gateway as well, which is kind of confusing to me. Normally you'll see Protoss players throw down 2 gateways following with 12 necks, because in order to counter this kind of bunker rush, you need those 2 Zealots out at the beginning rather than just the one that we saw from Free. So that ended up being a little couple careless errors here and there, and FlaSh is uber micro is just gonna end up schooling Free, and he might even be able to get a little push on here, as this almost looks like kind of an FD push follow-up. Kind of has that same kind of army composition, but Free is definitely going to have some trouble here as we head forward, and Mine going off, picking off the Dragoon as well. So Free just going to be on his back foot for too long in this game, and FlaSh is going to take it. It's just a matter of when at this point.
Yeah, second factory on the way. I think the natural expansion of FlaSh's was actually forced. I think Free put a pylon there, forced the command center to be built a little bit off position, but that's not really a big of a problem because the pylon was cancelled. So command center is going to get built, going to get floated a centimeter, and centimeter in non-scale, I guess. But so yeah,
on your monitor centimeter.
On my monitor centimeter, yeah. So that's not really going to be that big of a delay. But FlaSh going to go for a push yet again, planning now some nice mines. That Nexus is probably going to get delayed. The Dragoon's not going to be able to come in precision to do anything against that. Nexus might come up, but it's still probably going to get taken down. So his Vulture's doing an absolutely beautiful job, putting a bunch of mines. No observers imminent quite yet. Well, actually, yeah, as I say that, observers are going to be on the way. Ugh, prevention wrong day yet again. But only 3 Dragoons down there on the ground, and a tank, several Vultures and Marines out there, plus a whole bunch of mines. So Dragoon's not even thinking of coming too close to that Nexus. Nexus probably going to get taken down. On the opposite side, we see FlaSh playing careful as well, setting up a defensive perimeter, putting down turrets as he gets his command center down. So he's just in case playing safe as he continues pressuring this Nexus here. Final observer out there, so the mine's going to get cleared out, and FlaSh might get pushed back here. 3 Vultures, 2 Vultures in the tank. Dragoons might be enough here to counter this because those mines are going to get taken down. So no more mines out there. So Dragoons, at the very least 4 Dragoons at this point, will be able to manage to put this back. 1 Dragoon will go down. As that happens,
Vulture.
Yeah, kind of sad. FlaSh was actually pushing in with his own tank as he did that, but saving both of his tanks, sacrificing a few Vultures. So overall, he's keeping his army composition up, keeping the tank number up, and soon he's gonna have way too many. He's gonna have more tanks, might have more tanks, or equal amount of tanks as there are Dragoons, except he's gonna have auxiliary units. 1 more Dragoon to get picked off there, but at this point, Free desperately trying to fight back, but FlaSh already has the natural expansion going. Free just now has his own going. He's very heavily damaged. So if FlaSh gets even close to that natural spot, he won't even need to really try to go up that ramp. He would just be able to siege on the bottom of it and pick off that Nexus with just a few siege volleys of siege tanks. He's going to have the auxiliary forces overall to do that. FlaSh now even expanding at the mineral only. He does not at all need to do this. He could just get a few more factories up, mass up an army and go, but he's just going to play economically. He's just going to be able to overwhelm Free because Free cannot do anything about this. Beautiful job there by FlaSh, microing his CV, coming in close, using his tanks from the back. So absolutely dominant play here from FlaSh, I gotta say.
Yeah, he's just taking his lead and solidifying it, taking it farther, and just showing Free what's up here, following his counter to that 12 next. During that last engagement, I was kind of trying to watch and see whether or not Free was actually Psylocked, because his 12 next went down. You saw him re-put up the Nexus and then another pylon, and that pylon went down as well. Like it almost looked like Free was forced to wait because he had like a round of units behind just when that pylon went down, and that let that let FlaSh stay in there for a little bit longer and get some more damage done on that Nexus and almost take it down. And some mines. Looks like none of the mines actually went off. Oh no, another mine! Oh man, FlaSh is trying real hard to land some of these mines. But Free's doing a pretty solid job of picking them off before they can explode. So far, trying to do a mine drag and gets a partial mine drag. Does some damage to the siege tanks, but not that much. FlaSh is doing a pretty solid job of microing these siege tanks around. So the damaged one, I think he's microing it towards the back. I hope so. I hope he's paying attention. And that Zealot is going to die. He's going to try to mine drag it and gets another half mine drag onto that siege tank. So I think we got 2 siege tanks in the red here. So if Free can just get a little bit more, just a couple more units, he can at least push this back and stay alive yet again for another couple minutes. That's about all this is. I mean, Free is losing so much and falling behind so far economically that even though he's about to clean this up, taking down 2 of the tanks that were in red, and has enough Dragoons that he can really clean this up at this point. FlaSh is just going to retreat. It just doesn't matter. I think that shuttle has a Reaver in it, so maybe if he kills, like 10 SCVs right here. Here comes a Scarab. Is it? No. Getting blocked by the 1 SCV, so that's gonna dud. And I think if that Reaver maybe got 10 to 15 kills, maybe he could have come back. But it's nothing's happening. This is done. That Reaver almost goes down. The shuttle is almost dead. He can't even play games with that shuttle at this point. Too risky right now. So Free is just about out of options.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Really kind of sad. It's like watching a dying man. It's sad and kind of scary. I scare myself sometimes. But anyway, Free actually trying to pick up a third, trying to keep up, but there's just no shot. This Reaver, he needed to get something done with this. He needed to go and get something done with this, but unfortunate for him, he's not going to manage to do that. He's moving out with this small Dragoon cannon out there. I think he had a Zealot in there support and observers out there to go clear up some mines, maybe put on some pressure, but I don't think he's going to be able to accomplish more. He is going to be able to bypass the turret inside that main. Not quite sure he's going to be able to get that Reaver down there. Oh! Desperately microing it. The turret has gotten some with shields up, so he should be able to take a couple of turret shots. But is he actually going to try to go risky, try to get close to that mineral oil lines? Free actually coming, I think, and pushing out here. Vultures not in position, only 1 Vulture with mines. Mine gets picked off. All the SCVs coming off the line. There are 3 siege tanks there. Some of the Dragoons trying to come in close, force the siege tanks to kill their own little friends there, but the SCVs do an absolutely beautiful job of holding the Dragoons back. 1 Goliath alongside 2 siege tanks. Some of the Dragoons trying to come in close, but beautiful blockading with everything here. Vultures come in to support as well. Some of the Dragoons aren't going to be able to get in close and pick off the tanks at the very least, but still not enough. I feel only a few Dragoons left at this point. Gonna force a float, but I still don't think this is gonna be enough. Free trying to go for a desperate final push. Might get a nice mine drag in there, picking off a tank and a Vulture. So now FlaSh is finding himself being a little bit pressured here, but I think he's gonna be able to reinforce this pretty quickly. Unfortunately, he's going to be forced to keep some of his Vultures back inside of his own main just because of the trouble he's there. But Free doing an absolutely beautiful job, though, with a push of forcing the third to float while he gets his own third going. Is he going to be able to get some damage done with this Reaver? He might find a bunch of Vultures out there for FlaSh. He's not pushing them out there reinforcing. This is actually pretty cool by Free there. Just by keeping that shuttle in there, he's forcing FlaSh to keep some of his forces back. But I think this is just a slight delaying strategy. This is more for Free to get his own third going. Has the Citadel Dune up. His tech is significantly late. So just not getting his Citadel Dune. Still, despite that nice play there, he still looks like he's in a lot of trouble. That shuttle and Reaver not
just
even sure what's going to do anything.
Comes.
Finally, Goliath out there.
There
yeah,
it
Goliath comes out, and that's it. That's goodbye. That's goodbye to Free's little mind tricks, and very soon probably going to see FlaSh deciding to go for a push with Revenge. And he has such a huge number of Vultures now, he might just send those up first and might even be able to do a significant amount of damage at the 9 o'clock position. If he pushes into that and picks that off, he'll be able to just go up north to the Natural Expo and push that, and that's going to be it. Free actually trying to pick up 4th. He knows he desperately needs to get his economy up, desperately needs to get a huge amount of troops, but I don't think he's really going to be able to do anything because FlaSh is pushing out with Weapons 1, and we're going to be seeing the end of this matchup very soon.
Yeah, FlaSh is just not passive enough anymore these days for Free to get this 4th. He's just not going to allow Free to. And it looks like FlaSh is actually going to go try and use that little trick, put his siege tanks on the low ground, siege the Natural. I think that this is completely lame that a Terran can even do this. I hate this fact that this exists, but it is what it is. Take advantage of the map however you can. So I think that this is going to be the final death blow here as Vultures are streaming in and some slow Zealots here. He doesn't even have speed completed at the 14-minute mark, which is just awful. About the 14-minute mark, you really need Arbiters at this point at 14 minutes, and he doesn't even have a Temple Archives, much less a Stargate or Tribunal. It's just not looking pretty. And it looks like he's going to come in here with a flank, going to pick up the mines at the back, has some Dragoons on the high ground, trying to take down these tanks, but those Vultures are very, very well positioned to keep the Dragoons and the Zealots back as much as possible. Oh, a little bit of a mistake there by FlaSh, allowing a couple of those Zealots to get in and actually getting a huge mine drag on two of those tanks. So the first tiny little micro error that I think I've seen I think that's the first error in terms of micro I've seen from FlaSh all game, really. Allowing that one Zealot to go through, and in the end it's too little too late.
GG.
And there's the GG from Free. So yeah, wow, 12 next doesn't work on 2-player maps. Free, it kind of gets scouted out and you get bunker rushed. So if you're gonna do it, you gotta go 2 gateways plus that shield battery as fast as possible. You just can't defend it any other way.
Yeah, unfortunate for Free going for the 12 next on 2-player map, so ends up getting crushed despite valiantly fighting back, especially at that one point near the end, but unfortunately just not enough to delay long enough to get himself back in the game. So GG guys, Renshin and Deja Vu out. See you guys in the second set.
See ya.
자, 트라이애슬론 2세트를 보고 계십니다. 1대5로 앞서가고 있는 이영호 선수. 그 아래쪽에는 자, 이제 추격을 해야 되는 윤용태 선수가 있습니다.
그런 생각이 좀 듭니다. 이영호 선수를 상대로 빌드상으로 내가 좀 이득을 보면서 출발을 해야겠다라는 생각 자체가 굉장히 위험한 발상이라는 생각이 좀 들어요.
예.
정종현 선수의 노베럭 더블 플레이도 결국 이영호 선수의 전진 베럭 이런 거에 막히기 시작하면서 2번이나 좀 습격을 당하는 이런 처지에 또 정종현 선수가 놓였었지 않습니까?
예.
지금의 이제 윤용태 선수도 그래요. 좀 프로토스와 테란이 팽팽하고 또 할만한 맵에서 프로토스가 약간이라도 할만한 맵에서 배짱 있게 플레이하다가는 이영호 선수의 기습적인 그 초반 전략에 의해서 그 빌드 자체가 완전히 재앙으로 다가오는 상황이 나온단 말이죠.
그게 참 프로토스의 딜레마인 것 같습니다. 이영호를 상대로 무난하게 가자니 되게 힘든 운영 싸움이 될 것 같고, 다전제에선 특히나 이제 좀 가위가위보 싸움에서 유리한 점을 좀 소위 말하는 먹고 들어가자 이런 생각 분명 하는 선수들이 대부분이기 때문에 유네트 선수도 그런 경기 준비를 해왔던 것 같은데, 일단 첫 경기는 자신의 생각대로 풀리지 않았어요.
네. 자, 센터 지역 쪽으로 옮겨가고 있는 모습의 이영호 선수의 SCB 베럭스입니다.
게다가 베럭스까지 2경기 연속, 그리고 종족을 불문하고 이런 식의 플레이를 많이 합니다. 이제 테란과 이제 저그전을 제외하고 이제 테란전과 프로토스전에서 마치 테란전을 지금 하듯이 프로토스전을 풀어가고 있는데, 여기에 또 알맞게끔 멀티를 빨리 해줘요. 이제 그 맞상대하는 선수들이.
그러니까요.
네. 그러니까 자신을 상대를 하는 그 부담감을 이영호 선수가 알고 있다라는 게 진짜 기가 막힌 겁니다.
게이트웨이 안 가고 있죠.
네. 알고 있어요. 부담감을 알고 있어요.
프로브 나갑니까 혹시?
무난하게 가자니 이영호 선수를 못 이길 것 같고, 나를 못 이길 것 같고, 무난하게 가자니 나를 못 이길 것 같고, 그렇다면 빌드상으로 조금 배짱 있게 플레이하려고 분명히 나를 상대로 그런 생각을 하기 쉬울 텐데, 그렇다면 이 전진 배럭이 분명히 먹힌다.
마주치나요?
이렇게 생각할 수 있는 거죠.
마주치나요? 프로브가 올라가고 있는데 바로 올라가고
있어요.
프로브로
봤어요.
봐도 딱히
봐도.
대처할 만한 상황이 지금 상황에는 없습니다.
예.
넥서스 취소할 수도 없는 노릇이고요. 일단 게이트에 2게이트까지 올리면서 질러 뽑아내면서 막아내야 돼요.
네, 일단은 저 전진 배럭에 대한 대비를 좀 철저하게 해야 된다라는 이런 측면 분명히 생긴 거죠.
최대한 시간 끌어야 되고요. 프로브는.
프로브가 희생하면서 자 살려가면서 말이죠. 자 프로브.
네, SCB는 아래쪽으로 미리 일단은 빠져나갔고, 저렇게 이제 SCB가 자리 잡고 뭔가를 하기 전에
나오나요?
나오는데 약간 엉켰는데 그래도 나오죠. 5기.
자, 한 번
5기까지.
더.
유네트 선수 2게이트까지 올려야 됩니다.
네.
게이트웨이 부족합니다. 하나입니다.
하나 가지고는 부족하거든요. 지금 이영호 선수가 게이트 채취를 하는 게 아니라 투스토프까지 지은 상태이기 때문에
올라가서 보겠죠.
머리는 한참 찍을 수 있거든요.
그렇죠.
그래서
자,
지금 뭔가 투게이트웨이를 할 게 아니라면 프로브가 가서 미리 저 SCV라든가 혹은 머린 커트를 해줄 필요가 있어요.
자 벙커 조금
취소.
상황 치웠고요.
네.
자 들어가서 봅니다. 프로브는
아직 더우거든요. 이게 1차고 아까 처음에 보였었던 게 1차고
예.
이제 원질러 나올 타이밍에
가스!
3마리 나온단 말입니다. 원질러 때
가스!
3마린.
이거
가스!
예, 앞마당 지키는 것뿐만 아니라 본진까지 위험해질 수가 있습니다.
배터리는 아까 그래도 배터리라도 있었죠. 자, 찍었고
이거는 안 좋아요.
프로브!
이런 싸움은 안 좋아요. 이 프로토스가 안 좋은 구도예요.
캐스 원질러까지 어떻게 상대합니까 이거는 지금?
네, 투게이트가 아니기 때문에 그렇습니다.
네.
원질러 이거 이름을 끝나요.
자 원질러.
이거 끝나요.
원질러 너무 HP가 많이 빠졌고요.
프로브도 많이 나.
네, 프로브
들어가 버렸습니다.
SCB도 지금
질럿이 많이 다쳤어요.
역습도 안 되는데 왜 이런 판단을 했을까요?
이거 게다가 SCB가 상대방의 본진에 하나 들어가서 확인이라도 하면 바로 올라갑니다.
프로브는 지금 올라가서 할 것도 없어요. 돌아와야
이게
되는데.
뭡니까? 이게 뭡니까?
트라이애슬론 맵 특성상 이런 식으로 플레이하면서 안전하게 지금 뒷마당을 가져갈 수 있다는
예.
장점도 있어서
예.
참
난감한 게
난감하게
아니에요.
됐네요.
당한
예.
게 아닙니다.
네.
난감한데요.
저걸이라는 표정이 있을 때, 자, 뒤에 넘어와서 견제를 해봅니다만, 이게 근데, SB가 더 옵니다.
네.
이겼어요,
잡혔어요.
그것도.
예. 게다가 이 머리들이 윤용태 선수가 지금은 이걸 어떻게 해야 되지 생각을 할 수밖에 없습니다. 아까보다 상황이 더 안 좋아요.
코어도 안 갔어요.
예.
못 간 거죠?
가스는 가는데 코어가 안 갔습니다.
예, 못
프로브가-
가고 있는 거예요.
프로브가 여기를 와서 지금 뭔가 견제라도 해보고자 노력을 하고 있지만 사실 뭘 할 게 있겠습니까? 많이 이제 파일런 뭐 건설하거나 이것도 이제 한꺼번에 넘어가서 저 SCB 기필코 잡아내겠다라는 생각이었는데
리페어.
자 리페어
위치역에서 리페어.
자 지금 하나 짓고요. 야 이것도 못 막았어요.
4번이에요.
이러면 이렇게 안 풀리나요?
예.
어렵습니다. 말씀하신 것처럼 아까보다 더 어려워요.
네, 아까보다 상황이 더 안 좋아요. 질럿 있는 대로 다 죽었고요. 테크 못 올렸죠. 게다가 머리 컨트롤 가능합니다. 결국 이거는.
아까는 배터리라도 있었죠.
네.
위로 올라갑니까?
예, 이거 커트를 계속 이영호 선수 얘기고요. 프로브가
돌아가면서 프로브 잡고 돌면서 넥서스 때리고 뭐 이런 식으로 플레이가 가능하죠.
질럿은 계속 아장아장 쫓아다니는데
네.
이게 다가 아니죠. 팩트
원질럿
올라가고
상대방은 이미 멀티가 돌아간 상황이고요. 멀티가 완성된 이런 상황이고요.
네.
예. 지금 유용태 선수 같은 경우는
숨어 있어요.
머리도 지금 남겨놨어요. 질럿 위쪽으로 빠져나갈 때 아래쪽으로 내려가서 뭔가 반응했네요.
발견은 됐는데
질럿이 역습해서 지금 이득 볼 만한 상황은 아니죠. 팩토리가 또 올라가고 있는 상황이라.
그렇죠.
지금
네.
윤용태 선수의 머릿속엔 무슨 생각이 떠오를까요?
예, 뭐라도 해야 되겠다라는 이런 생각이 분명히 머릿속에 들기는 할 텐데
예.
벌처가 나오는 순간 또 상황이 되게 어려워질 수 있습니다.
그렇죠. 지금 빨리 올라가서
예.
본네틀로 어떻게든 이득을 챙겨야 되는 유니트 선수인데 팩토리가 완성됐고 뒷마당 쪽에 멀티를 견제할 만한 수단이 없다는 것.
네.
아직 코드 완성 안 됐어요.
예, 아직 멀었죠.
네.
버커
그리고
길막
붙잡혔어요.
이건 정찰밖에 할 수 없어요.
게다가 이제 벌처가 휙 나옵니다.
100원짜리 정찰.
이렇게 앞마당 넥서스 정말 꾸역꾸역 막아내긴 했지만
SB도 살았어.
파이어맨!
파이어맨! 위쪽에서
완전히 정말
발전사
절망점이죠. 절망점.
지옥으로 보내버리네요. 정말. 윤용태 선수가 표정 자체가 달라졌습니다. 이거는 힘들다 뭐 이런 식의 표정이 아니라 내가 이젠 뭘 해야 되지? 아니면 내가 지금 뭘 하고 있지? 뭐 이런 표정인 것 같습니다.
절망점입니다. 3세트 어떻게 빠르 잡니까 이제?
와 정말 가위에 눌린 듯한 깨지 못하는 가위에 눌린 듯한 느낌을 받을 것 같아요.
Hey guys, this is Ranch here bringing up StarCraft comment. I always fail at those sometimes. But hey, this is Ranch here and Deja Vu. Bringing you guys all another StarCraft commentary. This is going to be the third set between FlaSh and Free in the Hana Daetoo MSL 2010 spring season. I'm now speaking with a professional cutesy voice. Kind of cutesy. If this is what I think is a cutesy voice, I must be smoking crack again, which I promise to quit. Anyway, at the bottom right position in red, we have FlaSh. The upper left position in white, we have Free, Terran, and Protoss player respectively. 24, 25, 26, because I like syncing things together. But yeah, not even half an hour of StarCraft, and Free is already 2 games behind, and that is just unacceptable. That is just unacceptable. I do not know why Free did not play a little bit more standard. At least one of the... I understand going for 12 next once. Not quite sure what the match point. Triathlon, more the choice, I think, especially because you have that safe inside base that you should be able to take. FlaSh on the opposite side, this is a 4-player map. He's not going to go for the forward barracks on this map. This is the map where he would want... Just, yeah, Pylon coming down. Probably not going to be seeing the 12-nex. Oh, dear Lord. Deja, your thoughts?
If there was any map that Free was gonna 12 next, if there was any situation that you could think of all the maps that are currently in the MSL, and you would think, what would be the best way for me to 12 next? It would be Fighting Spirit, cross positions. He's got it. He's not going to, because he's already tried and failed it twice in ways that he shouldn't have gone for. So instead he's going to go for a 1-gate assimilator, some sort of pressure build, and FlaSh has completely called his number, and he's going to wall off. And I don't even think Free can get there in time to maybe like throw up a pylon and block the wall or anything. I don't think that he'll even be able to do that and open up a gap, so he's not going to be able to get any Zealot harass. DTs at cross position are not going to work either. So Free has kind of gone for a tech aggression build, and it's, you know, I mean, it's not really what you want to go for in this situation. Maybe if he can scout out what's going on, because FlaSh is probably going to siege expand, he can maybe try doing a double expand for Free. That would be, I think, his best bet to transition out of this. But if he does like 2-gate obs, I'm just going to like facepalm, because this is the expansion map. This is his opportunity to expand like mad, and it looks like FlaSh is building. Oh, FlaSh is going 1-racks into CC. Baller, dude, going for some hardcore economics. That's pretty sweet. And maybe Free can take advantage. Maybe Free can take advantage of the lack of military, of tech units, of machine shop units for FlaSh, and maybe try and take advantage with some early goon pressure or something like that. That could actually be something they can go for, but he's going to need to commit to it if he wants it, and I hope he does. I hope he does some damage early on, because he's not going for that expo fast enough.
Yeah, Probe coming up the ramp. He's going to be able to spot the command center. If he mentions... Okay, never mind. It's a blockade. What am I talking about? Not going to be able to get up there. Full wall in. The map lies. But I think just the fact that he sees that bunker at the front already giving him a clue, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Going for an expo. Suspicious. Clue, Sherlock. Somebody else spitting, so we're going to be seeing some goon range coming up. I'm going to see whether Free reacts to this by expanding himself, which is, I think, would be exactly the wrong thing to do, falling right into FlaSh's trap. And you do not want to be playing economics right now. You want to be playing pressure and then quickly double expo. Go in there, put on some pressure, try to delay that expansion of FlaSh's, possibly do some damage. He probably won't be able to pick it off, but you would be able to put on some pressure, force it to float back inside the main, delay it, then quickly double expand, pick up the natural expo, and then the 12. But he's meanwhile actually going to put down a quick nexus, so I don't think we're going to be seeing that heavy pressure from him. FlaSh is going to be able to take up his natural expo, and he's going to be able to hold it fairly safely. He has his factory on the way, 2 factories on the way, so we're probably going to be seeing some tanks from him fairly soon. So I don't think Free's going to be able to do anything to this base. FlaSh meanwhile some nice building positioning overall. Has that blockading eBay. Only 2 goons out there to do anything, and that's not going to be enough. Even if they get range soon, it's not going to be enough. FlaSh is going to be able to get a couple of SCVs off the line, repair the bunker. Even has an SCV there at the front. Wondering exactly what he's going to do with that, sending that down to the lower left, I think. I'm not even sure. Is he scout? Okay, never mind. He hasn't scouted Free yet, so that's why he's sending SCV out there. The fundamentals. But yeah, range on those goons, but as I said, SCV is going to just be able to continuously repair this bunker until the goons are in a large enough number to prevent that from happening. Meanwhile, we're going to be seeing a siege tank come out. Not too soon, but soon enough that those dragoons are going to become a total non-factor.
Yeah, I think that we're seeing the aura of FlaSh kind of completely decimate Free in this series. Something was canceled for FlaSh. I'm not sure what that was. Something was canceled right underneath his command center. Maybe a supply depot or something. That was kind of interesting to see. But, you know, if you see someone going for 1-racks into Expo, it's 9 times out of 10 a Protoss player who, you know, hasn't gone 12 next is going to be the aggressor, is going to try and put on some goon pressure. but FlaSh has this aura. He kind of went from his very early origins. He was a cheese player, and Tank coming out here doing some damage, gonna push back these Dragoons I think pretty easily once it has siege. He was kind of a cheese player to start, and that's what people knew him as. And then eventually he became this huge macro player. He was the ultimate in terms of defending his bases, and people got into this. Okay, let's 12 next. Let's one gate into double expo. That sort of build things to try and beat him. And now he's kind of become this complete player. He's an aggressive player. Nice job by Free at picking off that SCV. He's got good timing attacks, good aggression. Still has this great defense, and his great defense allows him to do something like a 1-Rax into CC, knowing that his opponent's going to be so afraid to attack into him, knowing that his opponent in Free is just not going to have confidence in himself to take down FlaSh's defense, and Free's counter is to take his own expansion and accept the economic deficiency, and it's just not going to work. I mean, he needs to take another expo right now. It looks like FlaSh is actually going to be taking his other expo, so FlaSh is just going to go hardcore macro, and I hope that Free puts some pressure on the 6 o'clock. If Free allows that 6 o'clock base to go up without any fight, if that command center just floats over there, settles down, and just starts mining, you can almost call this game, because Free is not going to have his Nexus up at the 12 o'clock before FlaSh, so FlaSh's going to have the second and third up ahead. That is just too much for a Protoss player to come back from, and we are going to see some 2-base ARBs here from Free, so, this is a pretty decent way to counter a quick third. Get that Arbiter out, get that Cloak while they only have 2 scans, getting one big stasis off maybe on that ramp on the right side of the 6 o'clock base. He could do some good damage there at the 6 o'clock. I think that's a good window for Free to aim for, and I hope he scouts this out with that Observer, which he's doing, and it really stops that third as hard as he possibly can.
It's going to be pretty much an issue of whether he manages to do that or not. The 12 o'clock position is being taken up now by Free. I think he's not going to contest that 6 before it's up. I'm not sure. He is sending some forces out there now, maybe anticipating it. Mostly Dragoons though there, so Vulture's already also putting on the pressure around there. Commander is going to float off, and I think he's going to try to go there once he has Arbiter support. I think he's going to wait on the Arbiter support before he goes off and try to do some significant damage with his military. So far, only Dragoons out there. He's going to need some Zealot support, especially because there are going to be some siege tanks down here already waiting for FlaSh, already setting up his defensive posture even before anything happens. Dragoons are going to be coming in here. I think 7 alongside an Observer. Some Vultures, one getting picked off. Not going to be able to get mines quite yet. Missile charge also being put up. We're going to see whether Free's going to be able to pressure this. I don't think he's going to be able to contest it right here. Going to be forced down the ramp. Vultures coming in, trying to put mines close to Dragoons. Not quite managed to do too much, but the siege tanks are getting a couple of volleys off on Dragoons, forcing them down the ramp. So FlaSh can start mining at 6 o'clock. One more nail in Free's coffin here. Not quite full closed casket yet, but he's looking like in a lot of trouble. It has his Arbiter Tribunal up. Still doesn't have his first Arbiter pumping, interestingly enough. But I'm guessing that's going to be soon on the way. Is going to be able to get his third up, meanwhile. But competing base to base against the Protoss player is not what he wants to do. He's going to try to get his Forge up, try to get some upgrades out there as well. FlaSh, meanwhile, going to get 2 Vultures right up there. Going to be able to abuse 1 probe, doing some nice hold there on the ramp. But several probes going to be forced to come off the line, trying to engage the Vultures. And that's pretty bad position to be in. Free doesn't have any cannons whatsoever. Going to be forced to engage the Vultures with the probes. That's just not a position you want to be in. Does manage to eventually clean them up, but some probes lost. That base spotted, so FlaSh now on these 3 bases is going to be able to get himself ready for a push out there, and probably going to be seeing that Free going to expand yet again towards the 9 o'clock. Unfortunately, FlaSh are way on top of this. That Vulture's not going to manage to do too much, but Free is going to be forced to get a defensive posture pretty quickly. Probably going to wall off a pylon there with some wall the ramp off. I'm sorry, with some pylons. But FlaSh meanwhile going to get himself ready for massive push, adding in a couple extra factories. So I'm assuming just slowly macro up off these 3, maybe a couple more minutes. They're probably going to be seeing a massive tank push right across the middle.
Yeah, definitely. FlaSh has the forces that he can really do that. He can really get a strong push going. He's got so much economy going that his force in a couple minutes, as you said, is just going to be so impressive. And I hadn't seen an armory. I wasn't looking for it, but I gotta think that there's an armory somewhere, at least one. Yeah, okay, good. There is an armory. So he'll have a couple Goliaths mixed in. He'll get that probably +1 upgrade. I would guess that he'll probably go once his +1 weapons is completed, something like that, maybe even 1-1, something like that, and push out. You said earlier that that third base is kind of the yet another nail in Free's coffin. And I couldn't help thinking that, like, Free seems to be digging his own grave this entire series. 12 Nexuses, you know, he just isn't countering this game correctly. It just seems to be digging his own grave after playing so well against Haya. Like, he was responding to what Haya was doing so well in the last series in his PVT that I'm honestly just shocked that he's not responding intelligently. Like, if you say that he went into the game thinking that he had to 12 next, okay. He felt like he had to 12 next, that's fine. But in this game, like there are direct counters and responses that you would expect a Protoss player to do to what FlaSh is doing, and he's not doing it, and FlaSh is just being allowed to push across to this position, and he's already established before Free has even tried to engage. You have to engage that Terran Force at multiple times as it comes out over and over again, to just try and slowly whittle it down, and Free has not done that yet. He does look like he's kind of trying to maybe come in here for a flank, using this Arbiter cloaking as well as he can to try and get in here, but not enough Zealots. Doesn't have Zealots in here, doesn't have the speed on the Zealots probably yet. Is that why he isn't going for it? But he could go for a flank here. He's trying to. There's some Vultures now coming in to defend a couple tanks, and yeah, there's too many Vultures there. And I think honestly, Free is just so far behind economically that FlaSh is going to be able to take down this base at the 9 o'clock, and once the base count gets evened up again, it'll have just been too even for too long for Free to come back. Maybe a stasis here could save him. A big stasis, not enough. You can see those Zealots still don't have speed, and that's just killing him. FlaSh from the low ground is defeating his opponent on the high ground. That is pretty ridiculous. FlaSh is just too powerful. That's impressive. FlaSh is impressive. Wow.
FlaSh is impressive. Fact of the century by Deja Vu. But oh my god, look at that nice! Holy craposaurus! Wow, all those goons meant it. Wow, beautiful vulture surround, getting those mines in there. You're not in a good position when your vultures outnumber the goons, not just 2-to-1, but more than 2-to-1, and get tanks to back it up. The Arbiter is sitting there, but not really helping much. No stasis as of yet that I can see. Acting close, finally a stasis, not catching the tanks I would have wanted though. But yeah, Zealot's the only thing on the ground, trying to engage, trying to come close to the tanks. Juku's not even blocking really I'm sorry, Vulture's not even blocking at this point. FlaSh's going to be forced back a little bit due to these Zealots, but no mines in the area whatsoever. FlaSh was fairly careful with that. Going to be able to pick off all these Zealots, then just continue his push. And Free's in a significant amount of trouble. He does not have the Zealot numbers. He does not have the Dragoons numbers. He does not have some High Templar out there, which would be absolutely brilliant for him. He does have a base over FlaSh, which theoretically is a decent position to be, but there are tanks that have been harassing him all over the place. A bunch of probes have been killed. There's been harassment at all times. That 9 o'clock position hasn't been saturated at all this entire time, and FlaSh is slowly pushing that. He's going to be able to pick off that 9 o'clock position, render it, just ugly rend it. Stasis right there on the goal ground. I actually think he would have been better served to wait until some forces tried to get up the ramp, and then stasis the tanks near the ramp. Would have maybe even managed to get like that. There we go, just as I say that. 3 tanks right near the ramp get stasis. But FlaSh is going to move on, back up north. Vultures first, get in there, get into the tussle, do some damage. Tanks backing up as well. And just when the siege tanks and Vultures can fight and the siege tanks don't even siege, oh god, you're not good. Even more reinforcement coming in. So FlaSh, despite being pushed back a little bit, as soon as the reinforcements and unstasis forces get back into the fray, he's going to be able to continue pushing this because he seems to have just absolute control of what's happening.
Yeah, he absolutely does. He's dictating play completely and utterly. One of the stasis finally comes off. Goliath's able to pick off one Arbiter. That is painful for Free. There's 350 gas down the hole, and Free is just on vapors right now. Another Arbiter being picked off. Free is truly on vapors right now. FlaSh has essentially got this. It's just a matter of cleanup. Free still has 4 bases running, so there's a slight glimmer of hope and reason for him to stay in the game, but not really. Just not really. And I think we're going to see FlaSh go on to the finals, and Jaedong versus Calm in the other semifinals. We could be seeing another FlaSh versus Jaedong final. It's a repeat from last season, if I'm not mistaken, unless that was OSL.
That was MSL.
That was MSL, yep.
Well, it's Nate MSL. And let's hoping there will be no power outages. We're going to see what happens, though. I'm not going to count calm out, but here...
No
Free desperately
holographic
trying to
stage.
fight. Please, God. FlaSh now, bunch more vulture reinforcements coming in, and no forces on the ground for Free to do anything. He's pulled all his probes, they're all dead. Tanks coming in close, but they get picked off just as they try to run in. More reinforcements coming in, one Arbiter in there, but now even Free split up between two forces. A little bit few of those in the north. Those Degrees are going to get picked off, if not the Arbiter first. But Free, of course, at this point, Free's delaying the GG, as you see often when you're one game away from losing a series.
Free's not even
You tend to
pressing
delay
buttons.
the GG. Yeah, he's kind of just sitting there with his mouth smickering around. But FlaSh even setting up down a bunch of mines, so anything that comes out dies to mines, to sacrificing himself. At this point, generally when the the Protest player is that massive macro, and he can throw away a couple of Zealots to clear up some minefields to allow his other forces to go in and engage. But at this point, even every single last Zealot is precious. And that's just not a position to be in. I think it was an Arbiter or an Observer that got picked off. I'm not quite sure which one it was, but now there are going to be siege tanks at the 12 o'clock position, sieging that, and there's just almost nothing there for Free at this point. FlaSh, with an absolutely dominant position, has also picked up a base at the, inside 5 o'clock, I guess you would say. And now he's on 4 bases, and I'm going to be expecting the GG any second. Okay, he's just picking it up, not quite up yet, but already a dominant position to be in. He's picking up additional bases while he's putting off this insane pressure, and reinforcements are going to continue flowing in. Free going to go here for the last. He might push some of this back. Vulture's coming in just the right time. Going to be able to plant in some mines, force those goons back. One little shot there for Free to maybe get some of those tanks dead, but not going to happen. So even if he just bams goons right now, because he can, maybe loses a bunch of those to mines right there. And this is going to, yeah, GG. As soon as he rubs the tears from his eyes. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, pretty GG's. That was a really disappointing series. I had so much hope for Free to at least take a game or two off of FlaSh and maybe even pull off an upset victory. To see him get 3-0'd, I am kind of shocked. And more than anything else, I'm very, very disappointed in the quality of the games today. I am unhappy with Free. Free did not come into the series with a good game plan, with a good strategy, and he deserved to lose. FlaSh called his number and predicted every game correctly. So kudos to FlaSh, experienced in best of 5 series, very, very strong series player, and deservedly takes a good sweep here.
Right then, guys. Thanks once again to Daetoo for joining me. This is going to be your first semi-final. I get to take part in the joyous activity of creating anti-spoilers for you people. But other than that, I'm going to hope that the ZVZ semi-final we got will be a little more joyous to us. But we are definitely guaranteed a TVZ final. For those of you that don't know, I will be joining Nuke. I'm not quite sure if this game actually comes up before that happens, but anyway, I'm going to be joining Nuke on his channel for the OSL semifinals between Cal and Effort, so go there for that. Once again, huge thanks to Daetoo and all of you guys. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed, even though the games weren't as good as we would have wanted. GG, guys. Renshin and Daetoo out.